This background is very fake. Hey there, how's it going? You know, there are some Christians that believing in Jesus is all about just going to heaven. They think that as long as they can just say, I'm a Jesus follower, then they just float away when they die and they get to go to heaven. There were the ones that believe in kind of like rapture things, and it's like, I'm floating away, sucks to be you, I'm sorry that you're in the mess you're in and all that kind of stuff, but I'm floating away, in a very apathetic way of looking at the world. They think that the world is awful and they judge people on the earth and all of that kind of stuff, just thinking that they have the golden ticket, that they get to go to Willy Wonka's, and everyone else has to stay on that side of the fence, where they just kind of fear and they can't go in, and no chocolate for them at all, but they get all the chocolate because they believe in Jesus. It's all about chocolate, really, when it comes down to it. But then the early church actually believed in something called resurrection. That's right, you've probably heard that before, resurrection. It's something that is happened on Easter morning when Jesus defeated death, but his body was resurrected. And those early Christians really did believe that the entire world would be resurrected. They saw the end of times and all of that kind of stuff as God actually putting the earth and heaven back together, about reconciliation kind of resurrection, to where all the beauty of the earth and everything is to be celebrated. They didn't see that God didn't like the earth or the people in it, and that he wanted to rescue people from a trashy environment. He saw that God was about addressing the evil that upsets the world and causes things like death and pain and suffering and all that kind of stuff, and being able to draw that out of there and reconciling the earth and heaven together to where we would be with God here on earth. And we would be able to see the creation the way that God intended us to see it, without all the evil and poison in the world and everything like that. And so those early Christians, they didn't see their job as something that was just supposed to be, we're just waiting and buying our time until the end of the world, and we can just pop up and, you can be left behind. Never liked those books, by the way, but that's a different story. They really saw that they were part of this wonderful reconciliation of the earth. And so they saw that their role was to share God's love with the earth, to see the blessings in the earth and the blessings in each other. That's why they were so invitational. That's why they were so inviting to other people. And the thing that made Christianity spread in those days, in the early days, was truly that welcoming spirit, that love, that kindness, that breaking bread with people that are different, that were from different cultures, different ethnicities, and all of that kind of stuff. It was revolutionary at the time to even have a religion that did not have a specific ethnicity to it, but it was actually open to people that were considered Jewish and people that were considered ex-pagans, Gentiles. All of that kind of stuff were coming together to celebrate the love of Jesus Christ. And they never saw it as something that they just had to wait around. They never saw their neighbor as filth, and they were just there to escape them. They really saw it about bringing the world together and loving one another. Yes, loving one another. We can still have that hope. We can still have that belief. We can still have that church where we open the doors and we allow people to come in as themselves, their honest selves, and we can celebrate that God loves us all. That is the way that the early church really saw things happening, and that's the way that we're supposed to see things happening. I'll get a different background next time.